Don't ask me to talk.
From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Join me, Stacey Heller,
And me, Eric Ryder.
as we talk about what's good to watch, read, see, listen to, and more.
An edutaining 1-hour break in your day that includes the segment, What Are We Eating? Sponsored by Dingfelder's Delicatessen.
Stick with us for something good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Don't Ask Me to Talk on Kixie. It is a show that's basically whatever we think is good enough to share with the world because good stuff should be shared. I am Stacey Heller. I am joined, of course, by my co-host, Eric Ryder. Welcome, Eric.
Hey, happy Thursday, I should say. It's a thirsty Thursday.
It's a thirsty Thursday. You know what? I am actually on the East Coast. I'm visiting my mother. And so it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So I have a gin and tonic in hand. So it is Thirsty Thursday.
Nice.
So yeah, it's never too early for a drink. Unless, of course, it is. Hello. And thanks to those that are listening live and those that listen to the podcast. You can also check out my show, Stacey Connects, on our sister station. Say that 5 times fast. KKNW. It airs Tuesdays from 3 to 4. And you could subscribe to both shows on your preferred podcast platform. Consider sharing the show, rating it, leaving comments. You can also connect directly with us by texting or calling 475-999-2726 to connect with us. Eric has all of these acronyms. I think we've been going with the 475-999 BRAN or CRAM.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Or you could dial IRC 999 CRAM. So if we IRC you and you want to say cram it, dial IRC 999 CRAM.
Nice. I like that. I mean, I don't like that, but that's kind of good. We have guests today. So Tony LaStella, who is the one of the hosts of the Italian radio show, and his co-host, Marzia Caputo, they are here. Welcome.
We're glad to be here, Stacey. Always good to see you.
It is always good to see you. I get to see you very often at SIP because SIP is our date night spot, and you perform there. And I mean,
we always have a blast, don't we? We eat well, we drink well, and we sing well.
This is why I want to talk about, normally Eric and I pick a conversation, and this week I'm like, we are going to talk about being Italian by marriage, because that's what I am. You're Italian by being Italian, and Marzia, you're Italian and you're from Italy, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Right. Yes, I am.
Right. So
Marzia broke the mold, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like if the yardstick is using her, then she's the top, and you're up there and I'm kind of at the bottom, but I do gesture with my hands. So I think that makes me almost like,
You are.
There you go. That's right.
It's a thing. So normally at the beginning of the show, I look up random things like what today is. All right. My mother is here.
Where's Eric?
Okay. Hold on a second. Here she comes. You have to talk in the microphone if you're going to say hello.
I want to say hi to Eric.
Hi, Joan.
Oh.
Hi, Ma. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
You have to they can't see you. All they can see is your chest.
Hi. Can you see me?
I mean, kind of. She's not.
And
really
this makes great radio, by the way.
This makes such great radio because,
It's alive.
But it is nice to have a cameo we don't have to pay for.
I hear him.
I know you.
I'm old and I've never been on radio before. So what do I do?
You just talk.
I can talk.
I know you can talk. It's where I get it from.
No, I just want to say hi to Eric.
Okay, well, are you going to say hi to Tony and Marzia too?
Yes. Hi, guys.
Okay. Hey, how you doing, Ma?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
I can't hear anything.
I know you can't hear anything because I have the headphones on. They said, forget about it.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to.
All right.
You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to drive her crazy. I've been good at that for a lot of years.
Make her pay back. That's what it is. It's good.
Yeah.
We're back.
Nailed it, stuck the landing. All right. Holy cow. All right. Well, that makes for awesome radio, I think.
There you go. Exactly.
Right. Well, and this is one of the reasons why I have defected to being Italian by marriage.
That's like, I remember we had a guest at one time, and we could see them on Zoom, but we're actually doing just a broadcast. And I'd ask a question, they'd shake their head. It's like, this is radio. You got to use your mouth. You got to talk.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's classic mom. She's like, I can't hear anything. I'm like, well, because you're not on the show.
She was sweet. She went to say hi, Eric. What did you do, Eric, to her? That's so sweet.
She absolutely adores Eric. Like, seriously.
And we miss Eric. We love Eric,
Thank you.
We wanted to take him with us. What can you do?
All right. Well, you know what? Back off. He's mine. So today we normally talk about like what the national day is. So
Is it National Day today?
Well, there's Tony, Marzia, there is like 1,000 different things that happens on every single day. And if you go to the handy dandy, like what holiday is happening in the world? Like for instance, did you know that it is World Lindy Hop Day today or National Paper Airplane Day?
Nope, I didn't know that.
Well, I asked Google this when we're talking here. I don't know what this means, but it's Derg Downfall Day 2022 in Ethiopia. So
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what Derg Downfall is, but
Something else. It's something else.
It's important to somebody. It is also, I believe, Ascension Thursday, which means that it's been 40 days since Easter. So as a cradle Catholic,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
And I'm
right.
just wrapping up that 40-pound ham that I got for Easter. So it's perfect.
You have been working on that for 40 days and 40 nights.
That's right.
Now that's unusual because I did mass today. They said nothing about this at mass.
Well, that's how it is. Okay, so those are the days. There's not really anything funny about Ascension Thursday. And Lindy Hop, it's kind of like the Charleston. Our daughter, Annie, took ballroom dancing lessons from second grade through her junior year of high school. And she learned how to do the Charleston and the Lindy Hop, although that is American style ballroom versus international style ballroom.
Gotcha.
So that's a fun fact that nobody really cared about. And paper airplanes. Have you ever made a paper airplane that has actually worked?
I was the king of paper airplanes when I was young. I was in grade school. I was every teacher's nightmare.
Oh, you're that guy. Why am I not surprised that you're that guy?
But my best paper airplane flight ever was in the old Kingdom. I remember the old Kingdom. And I was in there, I forget what it was, but we were in there doing a tour or something when it was closed. There wasn't other people, and I was way up at the top of the thing. And the guy gave us a thing, said they had a contest actually to see who could actually get the paper airplane. And mine made it actually down to the field. So,
Wow, that's impressive. All right, so let's talk about, go ahead, Eric.
Let me just say that of all the random weird holidays that we've had, that we've talked about on the show, those two really complement each other since, the Lindy Hop was named after Charles Lindbergh, the famous aviator.
Oh, there you go.
So I feel like you could really combine those two things for an excellent Lindy Hop paper airplane celebration.
There you go. Well, and we'll take it one step further.
As long as you can throw a paper airplane across the Atlantic, then.
Right. Well, and the house where the Lindbergh baby was kidnapped was actually not far from the house that I lived in during high school.
That's right. I remember about that. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. It's crazy. Okay, so I really I got to be a guest on your show, and
you were great on our show. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, are you kidding? Like I said, I met and married Pete. Let's see, he's 7 years older.
He's a great guy, by the way. I love him. He's really your husband is just a great guy.
He is a great guy. Again, my mom likes him and Eric definitely more than she likes me half the time. She is like, he is a saint, which he sort of is. And so he is half Italian. His mom is Italian. His grandparents were Vincenza And
Up by Marzia. Now we know now I know why he's so messed up. He's from Vincenza.
It's my child Vicenza, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you know.
Yep. And
See, they're not
Salvatore.
really Italians up there. They're almost
No.
Swiss. You can see the mountains. They had the Alps. Forget about it. You know.
Yeah, we can talk about history another time, but let's keep going.
Yeah, no. So Salvatore in Vincenza Longo, and my father-in-law, he is German, and I think he was sort of like, I really like this Italian side, and so he did what I've essentially done and sort of defected to the Italian side. It was a very, very strong influence for Pete growing up. Just the sense of family, community.
Right.
Multi-generational. It was quite an influence on him, and then by extension it's been a huge influence on me and the way that we've raised our kids, the sensibility in terms of entertaining, the music we listen to.
Yeah, because if I remember, you told me at one point, I think when we were drinking heavily, which we do frequently at SIP, you were telling me that you came from like a very conservative, kind of a blue blood, Upper East Coast family. And I remember asking, so what was it like the first time you went out to this Italian family, you got the Italian family dinner, everybody's talking, screaming at once,
It was so much. I remember the first Thanksgiving before we were dating, it was before we were engaged, and or maybe right after we were engaged. I don't know. I don't know if Pete was protecting me from his family or if he was like not wanting to be annoyed by his family and introducing me too quickly. I'm really not sure which the story is. But even Thanksgiving, it just looked different, and it was so hectic and so noisy, and so everybody layers of conversation and, food and just kind of mayhem. And at one point I had to leave and go upstairs, and I called my family and I was like, it's so loud. And I don't know, did the Pilgrims really have pasta? I'm confused.
I'm not sure,
Yeah, it was a lot. And over time I was like, oh, this is great. You mean I can have something other than a boneless chicken breast, some asparagus or broccoli, some smoked rice, because my mother could never figure out how to make rice, and like a single roll. She like portioned out what you could eat. So this idea of, being plentiful and open and loud and boisterous and fun, it definitely jived with what I was looking for.
And how did your family embrace your half Italian husband?
Well, the funny thing is, so my husband and my brother went to college together, and I will never forget. We were arriving at the hotel, and we saw my in-laws, and they were apparently staying at the same hotel, and they're walking up ahead, and they're holding hands as they're walking in. And I remember, being that kid, I think I was 15, and, like you hear everything, but your parents forget that you hear everything.
Yeah.
And, they're like, oh, there's the Hellers, they're holding hands. And like, we didn't do that in our family. And, I was like, well, I think that's kind of sweet. And so, at first I think it was a lot, I had to take tennis lessons in case my future husband had a tennis court, and, I would need to know how to do that. And honestly, she just adored Pete. I mean, she was like, he's such a good guy, and he is kind and generous and welcoming and so supportive. And, so she's gotten used to him. I think it's still a whole different vibe when both sides of the family get together. I think like the rehearsal dinner, my family was like stunned into silence. It was like the stories that were being told. It was all these stories about like, little Petey and, Uncle Peppy and, like.
Then you had to train all the tennis lessons for bocce lessons.
Right. I mean,
Italians say the bocce. Seriously, tell me.
I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, the closest to like really experiencing any Italian cuisine was we went to a place called Abbegabondo, and it was in New York, and there was bocce. Is it a bocce court? There were bocce courts in the restaurant, and it was all these old mans playing bocce drinking all day. And it was such a cool experience. And I don't think it's there anymore, but I remember it to this day.
These guys, I tell you what, the old Italian guys, they take bocce. It's like, I mean, I've seen them get in the fist fights over. They're like screaming. They're in each other's faces. It's like forget about like professional baseball when they get mad. Bocce guys, you know,
people, you cannot play cards and bocce. There are two
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
be careful. If you go and watch a sport like soccer, then be quiet. Don't say nothing, or you'll be risking your life.
you come to Festa Italiana, you see the bocce. They got all these serious bocce. These guys, like, you know,
No.
they whip out their own like ruler to try to measure how close the ball is by the centimeter. You know.
Wow. Yeah, it's a whole thing. My sister-in-law, she and her husband have this place in Rhode Island, and they have a bocce court.
Yeah.
And you know, like they've got it set up, and you know, they play, and it is so competitive. I'm just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna sit over here. Thank you very much. It's lovely. I have no idea what I'm doing, and God forbid I would ever do well because of beginner's luck. That would not go over well.
No.
You know, we did a bocce thing. We have a friend, Salvatore Coscone, who's a Sicilian guy. He runs his bocce club down in Auburn, and every year they do a tournament. So we did a team there once, and
Right.
it was fun. We actually talked doing it again, but just the dates didn't fall right in recent years. And then we had COVID, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we went down there, and you know, I gotta tell you, and you know, I used to make fun of these old guys, but there's a skill to this thing. I mean, you see these guys, they throw it in such a way and the ball come down and it curves around it stops right there. And it's like,
Well,
how
because
do they do this?
even the wall, you gotta think.
Yeah.
Right here, the ball, the palina, you gotta throw to the wall to use it to go right to the palina. And they're really serious, because then you look at, okay, you want it's okay. We gotta take the measurement, make sure it's the right. How you take measurement? It's a ball. You have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, and they do it. Yeah,
But especially since they're not throwing it like on a flat surface where you can like really gauge, you know, I mean, because you got the sand, I mean, it's like, you know, the dirt there and stuff. So yeah, you know.
Well, is that the way you play on the beach? Because in Italy, that's what you see a lot, play on the sand.
Oh yeah.
You don't roll the ball, you just throw up in the air to go right close as you can. So that is a little bit different. That is really throwing to see how close you can get to the palina. That's all.
Yeah.
So Stacy, have you been to Italy?
I have been to Italy. I have been twice. Our daughter, she did a semester abroad when she was at Gonzaga. She went to Florence. And so we got an opportunity to go to Florence. That was
Nice.
amazing. That
My
was
wife's
my
favorite
first
city
trip.
is Florence. Yeah. It's
Oh my
beautiful
gosh.
place, man.
The jewelry, hello. I still have pictures of a bracelet that I would like. And so that was amazing. And then we actually, with Pete's family, my sister-in-law arranged for all of us to go to Sicily for Christmas several years ago.
Where the real Italians come from, by the way. I should just point out here, you know.
Okay, I'm
geez.
gonna bring a book to you for show you when we made you Italian. Okay.
Wow. Now it's getting real. That was a very cool trip as well. We had this amazing Christmas Eve dinner, and we had it at this place that was kind of at the base of Mount Etna, and Mount Etna was
Erupting, probably, yeah.
And
Mount Etna's
so-
always erupting. It doesn't stop erupting. It's like the volcano in Hawaii, always erupting, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, like we're standing outside and all of the ash is coming down, and I'm like collecting a little baggie, and I'm thinking, I hope this isn't like that Brady Bunch episode where Greg Brady takes the idol and it becomes bad luck.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
You know, so I have a little bit of Mount Etna ash, but I figured Mount Etna was sharing it with me. So like it should be fine.
Right. It just
So-
Yeah, exactly.
And then in October, we're actually going with some friends of ours to Umbria for to harvest the olives for the olive oil press.
That's perfect. That's
That's great.
perfect.
yes.
right.
Yeah.
We have a good friend. It isn't John Paolo. That's where his agriturismo. That's in Umbria. Yes.
Yeah, La
Yeah.
Casella. La Casella is beautiful. It's really beautiful. Agriturismo is huge.
This
Look
guy
like-
has like a big villa. It used to be like I think a big winery and stuff. And now what they do is it's like in Italy, the bed and breakfast, they call them agriturismo, and they turn all the country house, the farmhouses into these beautiful bed and breakfasts. You can get your own private. And what people don't know about this, they're throughout Italy. You could go 10 miles outside of Rome. You can stay in a beautiful place, almost like a villa, your own private room, sometimes your own private bathroom, costs you 500, 600 euros a week.
Yeah.
A week.
Wow.
The whole week. Then,
Yeah,
you just get a car, take the bus into Rome, So
Yeah, they usually have a shuttle. They bring you everywhere left and right. But they have their own wine. They have their own food. It's unbelievable, homemade.
oh, yeah, because they grow all their own food there. So the food is fantastic. They grow all their own grapes and the wine, everything you want,
I am so excited. Now, Marzia, so clearly you two have a little war waging. So I'm guessing we've got Northern Italy and Southern Italy represented here.
Yeah, but she's really messed up because one of her parents comes from Northern Italy. One of her parents comes from, she doesn't know which way is up,
So I'm north and south. I love both. I grew up in the north, and my city too is there too. But my mom, she's from down south. So we always go every summer in the south. So we pick each other. We make fun of that. But for me, reality, I really don't care. Italian, we're Italian.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about though, and she's right. I mean, we kid about it. We have fun with it and everything. But it is actually quite amazing that a Northern Italian would marry a Southern Italian, because to this day, there's a lot of prejudice there. I mean, the Northern Italians think that basically they're God's gift. I mean, the language started up here, we have the real language, you got but the Southern Italian people, they're the ones that make the food, the pasta, and so they got this constant going thing.
I tell you, just that for my parents wasn't easy, because my father, when he went down south to take my mom to grab her, he almost got shot from mafia people. It's because all family protect.
Right.
Because the North, you don't take away somebody, a family member, you take away from our family, our city, whatever. So it's really not easy, but they did it.
It's so interesting. I mean, it's like in Ireland, right? The Protestants and the Catholics.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Like within different cultures, and there's like in different regions' minds, there's like a hierarchy or whatever, and it's like, I mean,
and it's all, and then you don't want to get the Sicilians in the picture. So my family's half Calabrese, half Sicilian, because the Sicilians, and they really think they're the real Italians, and here's why: because when the Spanish had, were basically had taken over Italy, like a century or two back. It was the Italian, that was the Sicilians that actually were that underground resistance that drove the Spaniards out, which actually is how the mafia began. The mafia began as, back in those days, it was a good thing. It was like the guerrilla fighters that would attack the Spaniards at night and chase them out of the country, right? And then of course it turned into a bad thing. But
But story for mafia, they did good things even during wartime. They did help the American to get It's a different story. But if you look for real Italian for blood, Sicily was an island that got captured, like Sardinia too, a lot. So
right.
A big mix what they have there. That's the dialect where you hear it's really different from the rest. But who knows? You know what I mean? This is the thing. But another thing I want to say too is this, that the end, like I say, we are Italian, and especially when we come here in the States, we are happy that as soon as you hear someone speak Italian, that's what is matter. Doesn't care what dialect you speak. You know what I mean? That's
right.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I want to take a really quick break here, and then I want to talk about, your show, West Coast Italian, versus I want to talk about East Coast Italian, because, I'm from the East Coast, and, is it an identifier? Is there a difference? That kind of thing. So
all right.
Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue to talk to Marzia and Tony from West Coast Italian Hour. We'll be right back.
Stacy Connects. It's not just my business, it's my superpower. Whether you need the right tone and messaging for a new venture, or you've plateaued with your current one, I can help. I connect clients with themselves and their potential. Then, I identify unique solutions that translate your brand into messaging that connects your target audience with your business. Go to stacyconnects.com to connect with me and your messaging.
Interested in learning something new? Meeting someone new? Find out things that we have in common? Well, of course you are. You're a human being. So let's get intentional about it. Join me, JDK Winnikin, every week and get all of that in less than an hour. I'm a writer, a historian, a social commentator, and my show is all about you. Really, that's what it's called. This show is all about you. Get my perspectives on the week's news and hear fascinating guests whose stories will inspire and move you. My show is all about giving you something that connects us. Join me Mondays on Kixie 880 at 3 p.m. or download it as a podcast.
Welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I may have met my match with somebody that likes to talk more than I do, with my guest Tony LaStella from West Coast Italian Radio and his co-host Marzia Caputo. And we are talking about I feel like I am so many different nationalities. I feel like when we talk to Vance, I'm always like, I think I'm a little bit Jewish. I feel like I'm Italian by marriage. Like there's all these things that my kids, of course, cringe and tell me like, you're not allowed to say these things. And I'm like, yeah, well, but like, this is like, it's an homage. It's not, a diss. It's like,
we grew up in the Rat Pack era. We had Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, and they were all kidding each other about, being one thing or another. But, they didn't do it in a mean way. They did it in a way that got everybody kind of relaxed a little bit. Now people are a little too serious about getting offended too easily. What are you going to do? I mean, I understand both sides, but, when we grew up, by the time you get like to be 13 years old, you got the Jewish people, you got the Italians, the Germans, and all the kids that figure whose mother's making the best meal that night to send on their house,
Right. I mean, that's ultimately at the end of the day, that it's as simple as that, right? The music thing, that is definitely something that was introduced to me through marriage. Pete and I, we would date. I would leave college. Hope mom's not listening to this part. And I would go down and visit him in Manhattan. And on Sunday mornings, after we went to church, we would, Now
we know what you did after we went to church. It was not that type of a program.
Yeah, exactly. Pete would put on, music from the Rat Pack, and it was really the soundtrack to our Sundays. So much so that, we'll be celebrating 30 years this June.
Oh, right.
And it's so much so that when our son Will went to Santa Clara and he had his orientation, we met up with him later in the day on that Sunday, and we said, well, what do you think? And he said, well, I think I'm in the right place. They were playing Rat Pack music for the breakfast. And so he's like, so that's I felt great. Like I was at home, right?
Yeah.
So, that's our soundtrack for Sundays. And for our wedding, we picked kind of a big band and we wanted a lot of that kind of music. So, that's something that we love. Now, how did you two connect?
Well, so interestingly, we actually started there with Eric at KKNW. And it was initially the show was put together by a guy named David Madrid, who still is a good friend of ours. He still is kind of involved with us to a minor extent. He comes in every once in a while, does something, but he's still part of our organization. And I started with him about 2 or 3 months after he started the show, just kind of offered to come out and do some music. It wound up, we had a good chemistry. So I wound up staying kind of as his Ed McMahon, to his, he was the main guy. Yep. But then we had different Italian girls with us to, throughout the course of the show. The first one was Angela Mascio, who is, they're part of the San Gennaro Foods here. They put on San Gennaro Festival, really, really wonderful family. But, she got busy with her business because she was taking over the company when her father retired and so on. And so David and I said, we really wanted to find just the perfect type of Italian girl. We tried different people, and then interestingly, where we met Marzia, there used to be this amazing Italian bakery down at Point Ruston. Okay, it was called Dolce C. It was run by a lady from Sicily named Elisabetta. She made the most. Forget the cannolis there, the cannoli cakes. Only you gotta go to New York to get something like this, right? So she would have these once a month. She would have these get-togethers with all the Italian people, and a lot of these people, like Marzia, they're people who are first generation. They'd, like in Marzia's case, she had married a GI who then was stationed, out here at JBLM. And so, that type of thing. A lot of them were like that. So we got to meet a lot of people in the community. We already had a lot of connections with Italian Americans through the different groups we belonged to, but this really got us into the Italian community. And I don't know, we met at one of those functions, and we just kind of hit it off, and she just had it was just the right chemistry,
They started just to ask me, just come like a guest for one time.
and how many
and
years
she never left.
now?
She never left.
That's what happened. So,
well, I mean, she can hang with you. Now, obviously, not obviously. So is it West Coast Italian radio because you're based on the West Coast, or do you think that there is a difference between West Coast Italian and East Coast?
No, Italian, like Marcia says, Italians are Italians, but there's different evolutions. Okay. So a big thing that we always tease each other about is, how you got Italians and you got Italian Americans. Okay. And interestingly, while there's a lot of similarities in the two cultures, because of course their roots are the same, over the last century, they've really developed into being two almost separate type of cultures. I mean, even the food's a little bit different. Some of the customs, you have the connection, but there definitely is a difference. And it's like we'll get in these debates. It's not one is better than the other. They're just different, okay, as they've evolved. So it's kind of a similar thing then. It's kind of like what Marcia said. You go to Italy, you got the people up north are going to be different than the people down south, going to be different than the people in Sicily. They're all Italians. They'll have similarities, but they have kind of different things. Same thing out here. So, where I grew up, Upper Eastern Seaboard, New York area, there was a certain Italian type of thing there, which is different than the Italian thing here. Okay. And it's different than the Italian thing in California, frankly. So they're all related, but each area kind of evolved a little bit differently depending upon what was there. I mean, the biggest thing I miss out here is New York style pizza. Don't get me wrong. I love
from
Italian
your lips to God's ears.
I love Tutabella. I love the Neapolitan pizza. It's great pizza. But I grew up with New York style pizza, and to try to find that someone. So I get these. I got to get an airplane, fly back every 6 months or whatever, just to spend the night there, and get some pizza. Oh
my gosh, I was back there in a couple months ago for an art show that my sister-in-law was having, and we arrived in the evening, and it was too late to really eat at a restaurant.
Yeah,
I know it's the city that never sleeps and all that, but
exactly.
We were tired. But we just went to a place where you could just stand and get a couple slices, and we just stood in the window, and the windows were fogging, and there was the ability to fold the pizza,
exactly,
I could still, muscle memory with the fingers and the clear oil. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, yeah.
But to answer your question, so because we initially started the show really at KKNW in the Northwest, and initially it was the Northwest Italian radio show, right? But then what happened is we started getting more and more people listening to us in different parts of the country. And especially up and down the West Coast, because the show would be online. We get a lot of listeners in California, a lot of listeners down in the Oregon area. So then we said, okay, well, let's become West Coast Italian radio. And our whole idea had initially been just to be that. Then, of course, a few years later, we're picked up by ABC. Now we're out of California, and now we have different stations that carry us. But I can't tell you that they're all in the West. I mean, we have a lot of listeners in Florida. We have listeners in New York. We got, so I think it's more just geographically, hey, we're in the West Coast, but, I'm from New York, technically. She's from Italy. So we try to be kind of universal, that we want to represent Italians everywhere, or
Absolutely.
People who want to be Italian, and everybody wants to be Italian. Come on, baby.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like I said, I very much feel like I'm Italian by marriage, and it's just, there's just a warmth, and the traveling that we did when we were in Italy, and there's just a casualness, oh, no big deal. And to have that generosity and warmth of spirit and welcome be just part and parcel with the country and the people is such a lovely thing. Now, you two do your radio show, and then Marzia, do you sing like Tony does?
If I sing, oh, no way.
So now most Italians cook, and and most Italians like cook, and they can say, and except in her case, she's kind of a mezza cook, but I'm kidding. I'm not teasing her.
What are you talking about?
But she can't sing a note. She's like this weird Italian who can't sing.
I never try. I'm really not big on singing. I will be nervous, so I don't even put myself.
But she is a great cook. I'm just teasing about that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I like to joke that if Ethel Merman and Kate Smith had a love child, that would be my voice.
That's a strong voice. That's a good voice.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very like, hey. Yeah. So, if you ever need somebody to sing,
those are two of my favorite female singers,
Well,
they can really belt it out.
I'm a belter. What can I say? Now share with people all the different ways that they can follow you, listen to you, hear you sing, hear the show, you have so many different things that you do that I need to give you a whole 5-minute segment on all the different things that you do.
Well, the easiest way to follow us really is just remember the name of the show, which is West Coast Italian Radio. Because if you take the acronym WCIR.biz takes you right to our website. And from there, you can go anywhere you want to go. There's a link at the top of the page. You get there, it takes our page at ABC, where you can listen to the show live each week on the internet. You can stream it. You can listen to it in archive. We got about 700 shows in archives ever since our beginning at KKNW right up to present. So those are all up there. And we have great guests, everybody from, the local guy who has a story to tell to Sylvester Stallone, So,
Wow.
Pretty much anybody who's Italian American, or like in your case, who wants to be Italian. You were a great guest, you were one of the few Italian wannabe guests we had on the show.
What can I say? And then Tony, you also you occasionally perform at SIP, and that's an amazing thing. Do you have a regular gig there?
Well, yeah. So what I do is basically I do about 200 shows a year. I travel fairly extensively around the country when I am not here sitting in front of a microphone. And I have the band Tony and the Goombas. We are an Italian-American band. We do everything from the old Italian songs to all the Sinatra stuff. And then we take your favorite rock and roll tunes and we turn them into Italian songs. Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, Leonard Skinner, you name it, nothing sacred. We make them into fun Italian songs for people. And we have a blast doing it, So
it's so good. My favorite is for sure.
When I'm in town here, though, I'm at SIP. I'm at SIP usually Friday and Saturday nights when I'm here in Seattle. So that's
Nice. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I think we're out of time. Eric, are we out of time?
Pretty much, yeah. We got to take this break and get back with Vance.
All right. Well, you know what? I loved having you two on the show. You're going to have to come back another time so that we can talk more. I feel like I need a tour, Marzia, of where you're from. And you two need to
go to Italy with her.
I do need to go to Italy with you. Anytime I will carry your bags.
Yeah, take your mom with me.
Perfect. Yeah, she's totally sitting here like, I'll go.
That was funny.
So thank you so much, Tony. Thank you, Marzia. Remember, folks, listen to West Coast Italian Radio. You can go to WCIR.biz and you can find out all the different things that they do. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with Vance Dingfelder of Dingfelder's Delicatessen.
Thanks, Stacy.
Stacy Connects. It's not just my business, it's my superpower. Whether you need the right tone and messaging for a new venture, or you've plateaued with your current one, I can help. I connect clients with themselves and their potential. Then, I identify unique solutions that translate your brand into messaging that connects your target audience with your business. Go to stacyconnects.com to connect with me and your messaging.
Interested in learning something new? Meeting someone new? Find out things that we have in common? Well, of course you are. You're a human being. So let's get intentional about it. Join me, JDK Winnikin, every week and get all of that in less than an hour. I'm a writer, a historian, a social commentator, and my show is all about you. Really, that's what it's called. This show is all about you. Get my perspectives on the week's news and hear fascinating guests whose stories will inspire and move you. My show is all about giving you something that connects us. Join me Mondays on Kixie 880 at 3 p.m. or download it as a podcast.
Can't get enough of Stacy and Eric? Then be sure and check out Stacy Connects with Stacy Heller wherever you find podcasts. Stacy chats with guests about a variety of topics, hoping to make a connection through conversation.
Welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm Stacy Heller. We've got Eric, and
That's right.
we have our favorite segment.
The Lord of the Sandwich himself.
Food.
Oh my gosh. So we have been talking about, it's all been very Italian and gesturing with hands and the
My
whole thing,
favorite. You got to move your hands around a little bit.
right?
Italian.
So
I was trained on Italian.
I mean,
Come on.
Right.
Brooklyn, Italian. You know, Aunt Marie. Thank you.
well, yeah, I mean, I've been talking about how I'm Italian by marriage. I also feel like I'm Jewish. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know how.
Oh, you've got it. It's somewhere in there.
Thank
You know,
you.
like they do. It's at least 2%.
Well, I mean, one could argue that as a Roman Catholic, Jesus was a Jew.
You know, I got to tell you, and a carpenter.
So that makes me part carpenter.
There you go. That's what it comes from. Bud Feldman, kiddo.
All right.
What are we
Let's
gonna
talk about food. What are we
Let's
eating?
talk about Italian food.
Let's
I'll tell
do
you
it.
what we're eating. You know, Italian. You've got the Italian thing going. Italian is it's always been one of my favorites. Always. It was the first thing besides an omelet that I started cooking. My father opened a pizzeria when I was like 14, and he hired these two guys, Bruno, to manage it. Bruno drove a 67 red Caddy convertible.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Okay. Yeah. And he kept his Marlboros rolled up in his shirt sleeve of a polo shirt, not a t-shirt. It was a polo shirt. It was a thing. Okay. He was cool. You know, he used to work at this place. My old man poached him from Dominico's, which was in Massapequa. If anybody's listening, no.
I know Massapequa.
Hey, who doesn't know Massapequa? Alec Baldwin, Jerry Seinfeld, you know?
The island. Long Island.
Long Island, right?
Poor Eric is like, what is going
The
on?
Massapequa Mall. They had a Farrell's in Massapequa Mall. Then my father was like, it's lousy, because he owned a really good ice cream parlor called Jan's. Anyway, before I digress and my ADHD medication wears off, let's talk about food. So Italian, right? Let's talk Italian a little bit.
Let's do it.
The Bada Ding sandwich at Dingfelder's. It's a 6-foot sandwich that you can get in 3 feet, by the way. You can get a 3-foot section. A 3-foot section has 54 pieces.
You've talked about this. It sounds so good.
What's so cool about this sandwich is that it's a great sandwich. I use salumi culatello, which is like the center of the prosciutto. I use Nostrano salami. I use sopressata from Brooklyn, Alps. It's the best you can get. Not only that, we use aged provolone. And then the best also from New York, Alps hot capicola, right?
Yeah. Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Salumi, like salumi
Like
that you can.
salumi, yeah.
Salumi. Eric, do you know about salumi?
I don't. Tell me more.
Oh, salumi was started by Armando Batali. And Armando is Mario's dad. And Armand and, you know, I can't think of I can't think of the wife's name, but his mother, Mario's mother, would on Tuesdays or Wednesdays roll gnocchi in the front of the place. It was on 2nd Avenue, just at the triangle by the Union Street station.
Maryland.
Maryland, that's it. No. Marilyn was the sister. So the sister ran it.
Okay.
Right. And Armand, they were from Walla Walla, I think. They came from Walla Walla. He was a charcuterie guy. And that's what salumi is. Salumi is basically Italian charcuterie.
Mm-hmm.
And he made lamb prosciutto. He made amazing capicola, his culatello. So I started buying it when I first started doing catering through Nourish Catering, and then all of a sudden it went away. You couldn't get it wholesale anywhere anymore, and it was never available in the store, because you'd go to their store and they had the best sandwich. It's called a porchetta. Amazing. So their products are simply the best I've ever had. And like his cotechino sausage, to die for. Anyway, I use salumi products on my bada ding, as well as stuff from New York, and fresh mozz, aged provolone, peppers, and muffalata. And it's on a semolina, a big semolina bread, and 3 feet can be 54 pieces. And 1 piece is good for one. 2 pieces is more than a lot of people will eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something really good for, Father's Day, a graduation, anything like that. Italian food, though, has always been my passion. And I do a lot of it with Nourish Catering. That's my sister company to Dingfelders. And for example, I do, of course, the basics, right? The best sausage and peppers and onions that you'll ever have.
I've had that.
And best meatballs that you'll ever come across. I'll put them up against Salumi's, who has a great meatball. And by the way, Spinace has a great meatball also, just saying. And the secret to having a meatball is not just having ground beef in it, or ground veal, or ground pork. It's about having chunks of meat in it too.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Think about sausage. Sausage isn't ground fine.
No.
Sausage is pretty chunky. So it's nice to combine the two.
Love that.
So I've been cooking Italian food literally since I was a young person. I've catered events with Italian food. I was doing tortellini Alfredo when I was 17.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, when I went down to New Orleans and was exposed to Cajun food in mid 80s, and I came back, I would say that the first thing I was thinking about on the plane was how to combine barbecue shrimp and penne Alfredo. Right?
Interesting.
Well, it's the spices. Okay, take Alfredo and take Cajun seasoning and mix it together. And it happened. People were doing remember blackened penne Alfredo, blackened and penne Alfredo. It was, we were going through this big thing at that time. Other Italian things that I do, of course, my lasagna. I throw down my lasagna with Bobby Flay, anybody else. Okay. And also I do really amazing cannelloni and raviolis and tortelloni, especially. I do a tortelloni in a saffron cream sauce. That's wonderful. And of course, salads and vegetables, a lot of influence from Italian food, using, olive oil, lemon, garlic, not spiced crazy. It's how you cook it. And of course, osso buco and those kinds of things, or a bistecca, or a lemon garlic chicken. you can do a lot of different things that are Italian. But one thing I do that's Italian that I don't see a lot of people doing
Yeah.
is a really good cannoli. Mm-hmm.
Gotta love a good cannoli.
I
You know
love
what?
it.
Who doesn't love a good cannoli?
Take the cannoli.
I got it.
If
Especially
you
with
don't like a
pistachio.
cannoli, are you American? Well, I have to say it's fun that as we've been talking about the whole Italian thing throughout this whole episode, Dingfelder's Delicatessen, yes, it's Jewish deli, and Nourish Catering. It's anything you want, anything you can imagine, including really good Italian.
Maybe we open up like an Italian deli one day. You don't know. You never know.
You don't know. All I can say is I feel like since you're the sponsor of the show, you're supposed to bring us food.
Oh, most sponsors of radio shows bring food to the studio so that the on-air talent can partake.
That's true.
Okay.
We got to get you in studio sometime.
Yeah.
You have to drop in.
Perfect.
Maybe we record the show at Dingfelder sometime.
Well,
you know what? See, there you go, Eric. Take it on the road. There's nothing like the hustle and bustle of the sound of the restaurant in the background. They used to do that on other stations, right? Where they would do like the Blue Plate special or something. Yeah. I don't remember. I seem to remember somebody doing it live somewhere.
Well, we're gonna have to try it.
Let's get it on the road.
All right. Well, thank you as always. It's really a problem how hungry you make us every week, but whatever. It's fine. Thank you, Vance.
Stacey, always a pleasure. Eric, you're amazing how much you do in the background. Got to tell you.
Thanks, Vance.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Have a good week.
Oh, man. Now, as usual, I am starving.
Well, and all of this talk about Italian food and Italian being Italian by marriage and Italian this and that, and now I need Italian. It's, right?
Hard to go wrong with Italian food.
Well, basically, and good Italian food,
Well,
really good
true.
Italian food.
And sometimes it takes a Jewish guy to make really good Italian food.
Honestly, it's true.
That's what we've learned from talking to Vance.
Pretty much. Okay, so let's figure out what we're going to talk about next week.
I like it. Let's spin the wheel of conversation.
Woohoo!
And all right. Well, it looks like we've already kind of talked about this one, but it looks like movies or what to watch is going to be our topic for next week. And this is great because when we did have movies as a topic, we spent, I don't know, like 5 minutes talking about that.
I know. So it's kind of good that it came back. And actually,
because that was the debut
idea.
show. So yeah,
I know it. And I have an idea of somebody that watches a ton more than I do. So maybe I will see if they can join us next week. So in the meantime, thanks for listening, everybody. And remember to share what's good. You can text or call 475-999-2726, or as Eric likes to say,
you got me up. You got me off guard.
Brand.
There you go. I love it.
Have a good week, everybody. We will see you next week. Talk.